Right now, in 2026, you don't need a subscription to watch something incredible. Some of the best films are hiding in plain sight, streaming free, while bigger titles demand monthly fees. These aren't bargain bin leftovers or forgotten flops, they're bold thrillers, emotional dramas, cult classics, and overlooked masterpieces. The kind of films algorithms rarely push to the front page. Some were misunderstood on release. Some were buried by marketing. Some quietly built reputations over time. All of them are available to stream free right now on ad-supported platforms. These are the top 10 free hidden gems you can watch immediately in 2026. Snowpiercer, 2013. Before Bong Joon-ho became a household name with Parasite, he delivered this ferocious sci-fi allegory set aboard a perpetually moving train carrying the last remnants of humanity. The poor are crammed into the tail section. The elite live in luxury at the front. What follows is a brutal class uprising told through claustrophobic action and bold production design. Chris Evans gives one of his most intense performances, shedding heroic polish for something darker and morally conflicted. Each train car reveals a new social layer, turning the setting into a literal metaphor. Hollywood would simplify the politics. Snowpiercer embraces them. It's violent, strange, and unapologetically ambitious. Watching it free right now feels like discovering a blockbuster hiding in plain sight. The Florida Project, 2017, directed by Sean Baker. This vibrant yet heartbreaking drama follows a 6-year-old girl living in a budget motel near Disney World. Shot in vivid colors that contrast sharply with the underlying poverty, the film captures childhood wonder alongside harsh economic reality. Willem Dafoe delivers a compassionate, understated performance as the motel manager trying to protect residents from instability. The film feels observational rather than scripted, allowing moments to unfold naturally. Hollywood might sentimentalize this story or lean heavily into tragedy. The Florida Project walks a delicate line between joy and sorrow. It's honest without being manipulative. The final moments are unforgettable and deeply human. Finding a film this emotionally rich streaming free in 2026 makes it an absolute must-watch. The Invitation, 2015, grief and paranoia collide in this slow-burn psychological thriller directed by Karen Kusama. A man attends a dinner party hosted by his ex-wife in the Hollywood Hills, and something feels wrong from the moment he walks through the door. The film weaponizes social awkwardness. Every polite smile feels loaded. Every silence stretches too long. Rather than relying on jump scares, it builds dread through conversation and subtle shifts in tone. Logan Marshall Green anchors the film with restrained unease, making you question whether he's paranoid or perceptive. Hollywood thrillers often rush to explosive reveals. The Invitation lets tension simmer until it becomes unbearable. When the final act lands, it's both shocking and disturbingly plausible. It's proof that atmosphere and patience can be more powerful than spectacle. The Man from Earth, 2007. This entire film takes place in a living room. No explosions, no action set pieces, just conversation. Directed by Richard Schenkman and written by sci-fi legend Jerome Bixby, it follows a retiring professor who casually reveals he has been alive for 14,000 years. What unfolds is an intellectual battle among friends as they attempt to disprove him. The film thrives on ideas. Each question digs deeper into philosophy, religion, and history. The minimalist setting becomes immersive because the writing is so sharp. Hollywood would expand this into flashbacks and spectacle. The Man from Earth keeps everything grounded in dialogue, trusting imagination over visuals. It's thoughtful, provocative, and surprisingly emotional. If you enjoy high-concept storytelling built entirely on conversation, this hidden gem is essential viewing. The Raid, 2011, directed by Gareth Evans. The Raid is pure kinetic energy. The premise is simple. A SWAT team becomes trapped inside a high-rise controlled by a ruthless crime lord. What follows is relentless, bone-crunching action executed with astonishing choreography. Iko Uwais showcases breathtaking martial arts skill, turning tight hallways into arenas of survival. There's minimal exposition. The story moves forward through motion and momentum. Hollywood action films often drown in CGI excess. The Raid relies on practical stunts and physical performance. Every punch feels real. Every fall looks painful, sufficient, intense, and endlessly rewatchable. If you're craving action that values precision over spectacle, this delivers at the highest level. Watching it free right now feels like discovering a secret weapon in your streaming queue. Wind River, 2017, written and directed by Taylor Sheridan. Wind River blends crime thriller tension with stark social commentary. Set on a Native American reservation in Wyoming, the story follows a wildlife tracker and an FBI agent investigating a young woman's death. Jeremy Renner gives a restrained, deeply human performance, while Elizabeth Olsen matches him with quiet resolve. The snowy landscape becomes a character itself. Vast, isolating, unforgiving. Action scenes are sudden and brutally realistic. The film doesn't sensationalize tragedy. It highlights systemic neglect and forgotten communities. Hollywood thrillers often prioritize spectacle over substance. Wind River balances both with precision. It's gripping, emotionally grounded, and socially aware. Streaming this for free right now makes it one of the best hidden value watches of the year. Coherence, 2013, shot on a micro-budget with no full script and largely improvised dialogue, Coherence turns a simple dinner party into a nerve-shredding sci-fi nightmare. A comet passes overhead, and reality begins to fracture in subtle, terrifying ways. Director James Ward Burkett filmed in his own home, using natural lighting and giving actors only note cards instead of full scenes. That rawness becomes the film's greatest weapon. Conversations overlap. Confusion feels authentic. As parallel realities bleed together, paranoia replaces logic. There are no expensive visual effects, no flashy spectacle, just escalating psychological tension. Hollywood would inflate this into a CGI-heavy blockbuster. Coherence stays intimate, forcing you to question every decision the characters make. It's smart, unsettling, and endlessly rewatchable. If you love layered sci-fi that respects your intelligence, this is mandatory viewing tonight. Prisoners, 2013, directed by Denis Villeneuve, Prisoners is a morally complex thriller about two missing children and the desperate father who takes justice into his own hands. Hugh Jackman delivers a career-best performance, portraying rage and helplessness with terrifying conviction. The film refuses to offer easy answers. Every choice carries weight. Jake Gyllenhaal plays the detective with quiet intensity, creating a compelling moral counterbalance. The cinematography is bleak and rain-soaked, amplifying the suffocating tension. Rather than racing toward resolution, it forces you to sit inside uncertainty. Hollywood often paints revenge as heroic. Prisoners questions that instinct at every turn. It's haunting, layered, and emotionally draining in the best way possible. Finding this level of craftsmanship streaming free feels almost unreal in 2026. Nightcrawler, 2014. Jake Gyllenhaal transforms into one of modern cinema's most unsettling antiheroes in this razor-sharp thriller directed by Dan Gilroy. He plays a freelance crime videographer who manipulates tragedy for profit in Los Angeles. The performance is chilling, wide-eyed ambition wrapped in sociopathic calm. The neon-lit city feels predatory, mirroring the media machine the film critiques. Rather than condemning its protagonist outright, the story exposes how systems reward exploitation. Hollywood often softens morally corrupt leads. Nightcrawler leans into the discomfort. It's tense, darkly satirical, and disturbingly relevant in the age of viral news. Watching it now feels even more prophetic than it did on release. For a film this bold to be streaming free is a rare opportunity to experience one of the sharpest thrillers of the 2010s. Leave No Trace, 2018. Directed by Deborah Granick, Leave No Trace tells the quiet story of a father and daughter living off the grid in Oregon's forests. Ben Foster delivers one of his most restrained performances as a veteran struggling to adapt to society. The film avoids melodrama, focusing instead on subtle emotional shifts. Nature is presented not as an escape fantasy, but as a fragile refuge. When outside systems intervene, the conflict feels grounded and human. Hollywood often dramatizes survival stories with spectacle. This film chooses realism and tenderness. It's contemplative, beautifully shot, and emotionally authentic. The bond between father and daughter anchors every scene with quiet power. Streaming this understated masterpiece for free in 2026 is an opportunity too good to ignore. Free doesn't mean lesser. Sometimes it means overlooked. These films prove you don't need a subscription to find brilliance, that they're bold, emotional, intense, and waiting right now. Press play before the algorithm buries them again.